Please welcome Kristy Goodwin to meet me in the penthouse. Truly, truly one of the most incredible women I know. She believes that your mindset can unlock limitless potential. Your journeys shape and form your wisdom. She leads by example and leads by faith and with true integrity. She has turned challenges into stepping stones and runs an incredible nonprofit that is full of community and love and also leadership and strength. Please welcome Kristy to meet me in the penthouse. Welcome to Meet Me in the Penthouse. I am Amy, along here with my sister Molly. We help high-achieving women increase their income, but most importantly, their impact. We are neighbors, sisters, and business partners. We have built 8-figure businesses together, traveled the world together, raised our children together, mentored thousands of men and women together, and it's all because we have a penthouse mindset. We aim for the top, and we show others how to empower themselves to peel back the layers and truly step into their greatness and calling. Welcome to Meet Me in the Penthouse. Hello there. Welcome to Meet Me in the Penthouse, where we help high-achieving women upgrade their impact and their income. I am Amy Mosser, and this is my sister.
I'm Molly Croker, and our other sister, right, Kristy Goodwin. We absolutely love and adore her. I am so grateful she's in our lives because talk about a massive blessing, and you are going to love her and love what she has to share. So, Kristy, I'm going to just, with no delays, I'm going to turn it over to you and just tell us just a bit about who you are in a condensed story here, and then we'll get to the good stuff.
Oh my goodness, I tell you, I am a daughter, I'm a sister, I am loyal, I am an intentional woman, I am what I call a lifesmith. I am a person, I'm an introvert by nature, but an experienced extrovert. I've learned in life that it's important to take experiences, learn from them, and see how you can really help someone else. So I'm really excited about being a part of this, and also too getting to share a little bit about just the whole package of who Kristy is and how she has come to be, talking in second person, who she is. I'm also a licensed minister, and so I am one that really believes in the total of a person, and not just your mind being strong, your body being strong, but also having a strong spiritual connection as well.
Oh man, right there. That's good.
You are truly the whole package. I'm just going to say that, like, without a doubt. In every single way.
I try every day.
I agree. And when you came waltzing in that room with those floral heels on, I thought, I want to be friends with her. I don't know a thing about her, but I just want to be friends with her. So tell us just about your journey, whatever you want to share with us.
Growing up in Chicago, yes.
Yeah, my journey is an interesting one. I'm a middle child, and so I was a very quiet observer. I observed everything, everybody. I come from a household where my father was a pastor and a strong evangelist in the roughest parts of Chicago, and my mother was and still is a missionary. My father passed in 2017. But being a person that grew up in the church and always experienced having that spiritual connection, but I too took advantage of that. And I felt that I didn't have to do much work when it came to staying connected spiritually. I call myself a late bloomer, so I was one that went to college as an adult. I did community college when I was right after high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like this butterfly, I was exposed to everything. I think I was a part of this woman's modeling agency, and so I was getting talent for her. I also was a radiology technologist, and so I was an X-ray tech. I did that. I was very active in the music scene, so I'm a retired professional singer. I sang gospel music throughout the US and traveled Europe twice. Love that. Love the experience. Music was a part of who I was. It was like breathing. It was just, I would wake up every day. I would sing throughout the day. It's just what I did. And so I really took that as, that's just a part of who I am. Like singing was just what I did. I sang for funerals and I sang for weddings. I was one that didn't mind sharing my gift and talent when it related to helping someone else. And so I decided that I didn't want to be an x-ray technician. I wanted to do something that required more of a diverse landscape. Radiology was really honed in into one specific thing. And so I wanted something that really showed a little bit of who I wanted to become, because I really didn't know that when I was in my 20s. I got married early. Not early. I got married at 30. The marriage lasted for about 10 years. I learned a lot from that. And then when I turned 40, and I know I don't look it, I am 53.
No,
But
you don't.
when I turned 40, I wanted more of a meaning. And so I went from the medical field, I got into the education industry. And so I did a lot with working with universities. I always saw myself as a person that led, but not so much having the leadership title. I didn't believe that really made you who you were. And so I was always one that mentored. I did that since I was young, maybe preteen. I would always mentor younger ones. And I came to notice that people older than me will always come to me for some type of direction. And I didn't think really much about it at the time. I would have people that was probably 15 years my senior when I was in high school, or maybe in going to community college. And, I would have teachers that would attract themselves to me, and then I wind up being their friends. And then, it became like this odd situation, but I realized when I was in my 40s, because this was still going on, like VPs would come into my office. Like, I had a leadership role, but it wasn't one that I saw that was something that was really a change agent. And see, that's another thing with coming into knowing who you are, with me knowing who I was. It was, what does this really mean to lead and to be a leader? And so people will come to me and ask me like serious questions. Like, I had my boss come to me one time who had a leadership role in one of the medical institutions in Chicago. He closed my door and he was like, listen, I have a hard decision to make. Should I stay here, or should I start my own practice, or should I go somewhere else? And I'm thinking, why are you coming to me? Like, this was a huge decision. And, I was able to just give him just some simple guidance as to, what is your heart saying? What is your gut saying you should do? And through that conversation, he made his decision. That next morning, he resigned. He went on and he was happy. I would never forget that. And that's just a telltale sign in my journey as to who I was, the wisdom that God has given me, what speaks to me so I can speak to others, not being afraid and not feeling that, who am I to do this? I'm the right person to do it because God has given me the ability to do it. And so that has really opened me up to really the Christyism of who I am, and who I am, not just as a professional, but who I am as a person. And that's why I said that question of who I am has a lot to do with my totality and the mindset, because that mindset can keep you stuck if you think that, what you're doing, you're not capable to do. So that mind shift happened for me in my 40s. And that's when I got to really learn a lot about this drive and this energy, and accepting the fact that I can help others. And it doesn't matter what their title is or who they are in industry. It's helping someone. And so my journey with that, I have really embraced. I've taken that to another level. I have written about it. I have, been on other people's podcasts about it. I've talked about the hard things, because my journey was not easy. I mean, I was a person that went through some hard stuff, of being molested, of being almost raped, of going through these hard things, and also challenges as a African American woman, and sitting at the table and not being heard, and having to fight your way through that, and standing up for what's right and what's just as a woman specifically, and battling, those things of having to sell alone, but you know that selling alone means it's a greater purpose and there's a reason, because that's my belief. And so those things have helped shape me into being who I am today and being true to myself and knowing that it's okay. It's okay to be me, and it's okay to remember those challenges and then use those to help me flourish even more. To get those roots deeper and deeper and deeper into that ground so I can just be able to produce the beauty of whatever that might be.
Do you think, Kristy, as I sit here reflecting on this, because that's a lot right there, and I love this, when he came down to the basement, because that's where the radiology department always is, right? It's not like it's on the floor with all the lights. But when he came down there, was that like a big turning point for you? I mean, it sounds like, I also love knowing it wasn't in your 20s either. It was, quote,
So,
later.
So radiology was in my 20s. So that was a different experience. That was me just recognizing that that's not what I wanted to do. It was more to me than just that.
Okay.
And so stepping away from that was one scary thing, because I did go through school. I did have to test for it. I was working in an industry. I knew people. I knew doctors. I mean, that was just my life. But that experience was really the first telltale of helping someone else make a serious career change. A doctor, he was in his last residency. This is where the other doctor came into play, because I was in my other career of education. But a doctor came to me in his last residency and he was like, I'm really struggling with something. I'm like, what? I would never forget. I call him Dr. D. He was gorgeous. And he sat with me and he was just talking about how he didn't want to complete his residency. He didn't want to be a doctor. He wanted to help his dad, who had a couple of restaurants. He wanted to go into the family business and he wanted to do that, but his family was so proud and he was almost done with his residency. And I said, listen, I said, Dr. D, this is your life. You have to walk this journey. And I would not want you to be my doctor knowing that you do not want to be a doctor. So you have to make that hard choice and do what you feel like your passion is. And I didn't know that he made that choice a few weeks later until his supervisor was talking about it to me. And he was like, yeah, Dr. D is gone. He just quit. Like, he just stopped. And I was like, I never said that I was, I never said I was that one. I took that. I would never forget that, because he was just so tormented by having to decide one or the other. And so when the other doctor, who was my supervisor, when I switched to education and I wanted to go into more working with students and, building their next career or their next life of being a nurse or going into a different type of the medical fields, that was a different experience. And so I connected those dots. It was funny, because with that doctor, it was like, that was a more higher level decision, like stay at this institution, go to another institution, start my own practice. Like, that was huge, especially, when I'm looking over his contract and I'm like, ooh, this is a big decision, but I never felt pressured. I never felt pressure. I never felt crazy or weird. I never felt hindered to express that, because I always felt, and I've learned, that passion is something, when you have it, you have to listen to it. And you have to have the right person, or go to the right person, or have the right people around you to be able to guide you through that. Because if you don't, you would just get off course. If I told Dr. D, no, you're at the last part, you need to stay with this residency, you're almost done, you have 6 months, you'll be done, you'll be ready. If I said that to him, that was not me being true to my belief of doing what that's in your heart and that's in your gut to do. It's a reason why you have that. And so, to answer your question, Molly, it was a connection. I had to be true to me, that even though I went through rad tech, even though I was at one of the hardest hospitals in the nation, which was Cook County Hospital, named Cook County Hospital at the time, was known across the nation as the best place to practice to give that all up. And I didn't, who was I to not listen to the heart of what someone was saying?
Yeah.
Just spoke to their heart.
It just shows your leadership, like, the leader who had no title, right? Like that was you initially. So it doesn't make you a leader to have a title by any means. So, and I know you've shared a lot here, and we're going to wrap up with just this one last question. It's just, what does it mean to you to live in the penthouse?
That's a mentality. That's a mindset. That's knowing that for me, I want the best. I deserve the best. I expect the best. And I am not, and I'm going to be very unapologetic about that. And so in everything that I do, I don't care if it's stepping outside on a Saturday morning and I'm just going to get coffee, I'm going to look my best. I don't care if I'm like me moving to Lincoln, the friendships that I've created, who I'm around is very important to me. I don't take that lightly. I have high integrity when it comes to the friends, the community that I want to embrace. And so the penthouse mentality to me is, you can be and say that you want the best, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing that. Physically, I want to feel my best. How do I do that? I want to be able to eat well. I want to be able to enjoy my body. I want my body to be in the best shape that it can so I can be able to move how I need to move. How I think, I need to be able to have those positive thoughts and have those goals. And even though sometimes the stinking thinking happens where it's like, you're not going to do this, see, that didn't happen. So you should really be disappointed with that. You should really be depressed about that. You should really muddle in that. No, the penthouse experience has all to do with the best. Has to do with you're on top, but although you're on top, you're still in that top building, but everybody else have to be able to have some type of shared experience or wealth. And I don't mean wealth meaning just money. I mean, it's an exclusive setting. And so if you're not prepared, if you're not guided, I've learned that it does not help me to muddle. It doesn't help to be depressed. It doesn't help to sit and to wallow. I have to move. And so I've trained myself. I've conditioned myself. And I'm not saying that every day is perfect, but I strive before that day ends to say, how am I going to lay my head at night? You can live in a penthouse and you can have cheap stuff. And I also realize that a penthouse still needs maintenance. It's not perfect. And so because I want to live this life that's all encompassing when it comes to being your best, living your best, being around the best, I still have to do the work to do that. And so that's what penthouse living means to me. It's an experience that I have to continue to strive for, that I have to recognize and have to be honest with myself to say, okay, yes, this was disappointing. Yes, I have not reached that, but I'm going to continue to keep that moving because I know that I will, and I know that I will be better through it.
If I had a mic, I could maybe I'll drop my microphone. Mic drop. That was amazing. That was a mic drop. And no surprise from you, Kristy. I mean, for Pete's sakes, like we're always mic dropping with you around because you are just incredible. Just incredible.
It's life lessons, it's just life lessons for me. And I have not gotten here to know where I've come from, what I've came through to now. It's like, it's amazing. I could have easily been a person that's just not what I call arrived or at a place where it has not afforded me the ability to move and to navigate. I could easily still to this day allow disappointments to keep me stuck, but I choose not to.
Yeah, because you got a penthouse mentality, girl.
Yes. Amen.
I love it.
Thank you for tuning in today for Meet Me in the Penthouse with Sisters Amy and Molly. Please rate and review. We love those 5-star ratings. and would love to have you go to our website at sistersnextdoor.com.
All right, we know you're all lining up to have Kristy either sing at your wedding or perform your ceremony, or she can do both, as she's done many times before. And that leads us right into Bentonville, Arkansas, where Amy Joyce, who's a sorority sister of ours, has an incredible story of just overcoming. And what she has done to live in the penthouse is going to blow you away.